Now that the Netball Proteas have overcome their first two hurdles at the Netball World Cup, the focus now shifts to the next game. Number 4 ranked Jamaica are South Africa's next opponent. There is a popular suggestion amongst the fans that this match is actually the first match of the next group phase. Here to help us unpack that is Newzroom Afrika's Vuyo Macoba. Vuyo, good afternoon, and let's get right into it. I see you are outside in the streets. There's some exhibition matches taking place. What are the people saying regarding the next opponents that we find ourselves against, which is Jamaica?
Good morning to you, Lebu, and good morning to the Newzroom Afrika viewers. As you can see behind me, a lot of action has been going on in and around the Cape Town International Convention Center, but of course all related to what is happening inside the courts, which is the 2023 Netball World Cup. Behind me are teams that have been participating from around Cape Town before, even way before the start of the tournament, and they've been divided into teams coming from the schools and the local teams here in Cape Town. But we'll get a chance to speak to some of the coordinators later on today, just to look at in terms of what has been happening in terms of this tournament specifically, because one thing that I've picked up is that even these teams have been given specific names in terms of the nations that are playing inside. So it's 16 teams from Cape Town, but they are titled with the 16 teams that are playing, the 16 nations that are playing inside. I'm not sure if the Proteas have made it into the final inside here, but that's the hope when it comes to the tournament that's going on inside. We've reached a crucial stage when it comes to the first preliminary round stage of the tournament. Now, teams have been divided into 4 pools, with South Africa being in Pool D. Let me give you just an understanding in terms of how the permutations and what has been happening in terms of the formation of how the tournament is going to be able to go here inside the ICC. So 16 teams are participating. Now, these 16 teams have been divided into rankings, and of course the ones that had qualified through the tournaments that have been happening in the different continents. So with the rankings, you've got, for example, Australia, New Zealand, England number 3, number 4 Jamaica, number 5 being South Africa, number 6 being Uganda. Now those are the 6 teams that have been top ranked, and those teams automatically went into the 4 groups. Okay, so from there, then there were round matches that were playing in terms of the different continents, where 2 teams were qualifying from the continents. In the African continent, you've got Malawi and you've got Zimbabwe. And another continent like Asia, for example, you've got a Singapore and you've got a Sri Lanka. So in total, those are the teams that now are making up the tournament. Stage 1 of the tournament means that these 3 different teams, 4 different teams in each of the pools are playing against each other. In the sense of the Proteas, we've already played Sri Lanka as the second match, and we've already played Wales. Now the third match being this crucial one against Jamaica. What will happen in this stage moving forward? Now the Proteas have all but qualified for the second stage. Second stage is the second stage of the 3 stages. So from Group A and Group B, the 3 top teams are going to be able to go on and form part of Group G. From Group B, 3 top teams are going to form part of that Group G, meaning now it's 6 teams. From Group C and Group D, the 3 top teams from those different groups are going to go and form Group F. Now those teams are going to then be able to play it out when it comes to the next stage of the competition, and the 2 top teams from that round of competition, which is 3 matches in between them, are then going to go on and play into the semi-final. So it's a crucial stage, not only to determine what happens in the next round, but making it easier for the Proteas whether they will still be able to go on and reach the final in the semi-finals. Of course, we are trying to avoid teams like Trinidad and Tobago, trying to avoid teams like New Zealand as well. So the way that we're standing at the moment going to this Jamaica game, sitting second, we are all but qualified for the next stage of the competition in this stage alongside Jamaica. As to who we're going to be able to find in Group G is we'll be able to find out later on into the competition, as I explained further during the day in terms of what the permutations are for South Africa. So, but it's 3 different levels of the competition. Preliminary stage 1 is ending today. All the 3 top teams from Group A, Group C from one group in the next stage, Group C and Group D from another group in the next stage, and those 3 teams will then play it out from the 31st until the 3rd, and the 2 top teams from the different groups of Group F and Group G will go on and play it out into the semi-final. So a lot of action. against, that's still going to be happening today. Jamaica is one of the teams that South Africa will be the strongest test for them. Yes, we've had the starters already in terms of Wales. We've had the starters in terms of Sri Lanka. Now this is the main course for South Africa. Speaking to Coach Noma Plama and Captain Bongim Sombi yesterday, they are so focused when it comes to this match. But one thing that we can see from the faces of the South African national side is the motivation that they've been able to pick up from the two first matches. They've been able to also select the players that they know are going to be able to be strong against Jamaica. Coach Noma Plama already has an idea who she's going to be able to put into this match against Jamaica. We're all hoping that South Africa is going to be able to beat the Jamaicans. It's a fourth ranked and a fifth ranked team that's going to be playing off tonight. So we're hoping that we are going to be able to come out on top, but it's going to be a tight match, and South Africans around the city of Cape Town are really excited for this one. They should be starting to stream in the later hours of around 3 p.m.
All right, Vuyo, thank you so much for that update. Absolutely looking forward to that match as South Africa take on Jamaica. Plenty of history between the two nations, of course, and I loved that roundup in terms of the different stages that we see in the Netball World Cup. It's not the same as what you would find in football where the top two just qualify.